Alright, welcome to Doozer Shop. Got some updates for you. You sneak around the front of the camera. Alright, update on the Brown & Sharp 13 cylindrical grinder. This is what I've been working on. I got the last video I showed the digital readout scale that I repaired. And I got that going, and now I got the readout mounted up on this post here, this pipe. And I got both axes working, and came up with this pipe situation, and I'll kind of zoom you in on that when I go handheld. But anyways, got the digital readout, and it's working well. And I was going to share a frequency drive. I got the lamp over here, but I got this frequency drive that I was using. It's just a plug-in, plugs into the wall, and whatever you want will plug into it. And I was using it on the red Boyer Schultz grinder, but kind of got to making this stand for the Brown & Sharp 13 for the digital readout, the Sony readout. And I said, you know what? These Automation Direct drives are just fabulous. They're cheap enough where you can buy them new from Automation Direct. There's a 1-horse, I think it was 175 bucks. I might have bought this off eBay for 100 bucks. You can find them sometimes. These are really good drives. You can use them on single phase input with with no derating up to 3 horsepower. 3 horsepower single phase or 3-phase input. And then when you go to 5 horse, I think they need 3-phase, or you have to derate them. But anyways, so I decided to put this, make the plywood shelf, and then I got a piece of plywood for the back, 3/4 plywood, and I mounted the VFD on it, and we got the switches for power and for the start function, stop function. So let me grab the camera and kind of show you some of the details of construction of this platform and everything. Wanted to point this out. These are railing fittings, handrail fittings, and Lowe's has these for 3/4 pipe, which this is, and I think 1-inch pipe, or maybe it's 1.25 pipe. So let me grab the camera. I'll show you some of the fittings and kind of what I used here to make this stand. Begin at the beginning, coming around the side where the stand is mounted. Alright, on the side of the grinder, you can see the Allen head screws, bolts. There's some existing holes in the casting, so I made some brackets out of flat 1/4-inch plate and welded on some, TIG welded some little pipes on there. Let me zoom in. Alright, perfect shot. Look at that. So I TIG welded some 3/4 pipe to those little flanges, and I measured out for the bolt hole spacings so as to use the existing holes in the casting. And I painted them silver. And the elbow fittings are galvanized. And I got to paint the rest of the pipes silver. I had a piece just rusting on the metal storage rack. It's kind of rusty. So, but anyways, you can kind of see it just sits on the ground, the pole, and it's got the T fittings. Kind of zoom you here. So it comes off the machine, makes a with 6-inch standoffs, and then I got some 6-inch pipes going back, and I got the T's, and that comes up, and it's just basically a pole. Think of it like you can hang your head on the thing, you know. And these are just cool. These are about I don't know if you can see that, for $4, maybe less than $5 a piece. There's a flange, and you tighten the set screws. But anyways, what we got here. All right, close up of the readout and the switch box. So with that, the VFD and the switch box in the readout. So the one switch is for power. That's that power. And the other one, it doesn't die right away because the caps. And this is just a regular start stop. I have the wheel taken off for safety, and I'm not ready to get it rolling yet, so. But that's how that's constructed. So this is a two-pole toggle switch, and that's just a 20 amp rated. That's single pole. And I'll show you. This is cool. The fan goes off after a few seconds. So power goes in on the top, right there. That's power. And on the bottom is output to the motor. The output to the motor, the ground wire. And that lamp cord is the start-stop, which I wired into that switch there. You could use the start-stop buttons there, but instead of keep pressing that, you can just. I wanted to do that because it's easier. I still retain the potentiometer for speed adjust, and so you just, and it comes alive. So, and I'll take you around back and show you kind of what I did. Well, first of all, there's the wire going to the motor, and it kind of drapes around the bottom. Let me show you the back here of the my little board. All right. Oh, first of all, I wanted to show you the digital readout box. What I got kind of going on here is I left a space at the bottom, so all see how that back board holds the digital readout from going back any further, and it's kind of captured on the front there, the little ledge. You see that? But I wanted that secure. I don't want to be dropping this digital readout box, so it kind of wedges itself in there, and the angle iron both sides keeps it side to side. But this kind of keeps it from going back, and you still have access, as I'll show you here, to all the the two plug-ins for the X and the Y axis and the power, and that other black wire is a ground wire. They want you to ground the sucker there. So I'll show you here. This is power going in, and kind of what I did there is cord grip compression fitting going to 1/2-inch pipe thread. This is just a 1/4-inch piece of steel, square. I drilled it for the wood screws, and I used a 1/2-inch pipe tap and threaded that. And this is coming right out the electrical box. This is the input power, and it's all internally. I got a little 1/2-inch conduit bushing, and I drilled out the plywood to feed it through there. So that's nice, and it goes right in there. And I used the same fitting, but I made a plate where it comes out the front right there. So these drives, they're not they don't have conduit knockouts. They just got the wires going in. So I mean, they're safe. I don't know if the electrical inspector approves something with open wires with no connection box. I'll show you the top, kind of what that is. But I think this is very safe for what I'm doing. This is typical of most drives. And the switch box, like I say, power input from this single phase 220, 230 volt AC, single phase, and a ground. And the hole here has the power comes out to the drive, and then this is the switch for on-off, which I didn't need, but I just wanted to. So what this is this is PEX, 1/2-inch PEX, and just regular cable clamps with screws, and it just kind of forms a neat little raceway to put my wires in, and just making it look kind of neat, kind of nice, kind of spiffy. On the back, you don't really see it, but I still wanted it to be kind of nice with everything, with the wiring and secure, so you can pull on them, and it's very secure. I didn't want anything coming apart, but it's very secure. So this is power, and this, as you can see, goes over to the motor over there. So that's how that goes. But and then the readout box, all that stuff. If you guys remember, I'm trying to put the camera over here. I got some 4 outlets on the back there, double gang, and that comes on once constant power on one side, and one it comes on and off with the oil pump, which is that green motor right there is the oil pump with that Anaconda liquid tight going into it. So when I flip the switch, you know, I got switch power and constant power, and that's where the readout plugs into constant power. So I got kind of keeps the cords nice and neat for myself. So anyways, that plugs into, and the power for the variable frequency drive, it goes behind the toolbox. And this is kind of what I got here. I got some regular 120 volt AC outlets, and then this is the twist lock 220 volt for the VFD drive. So basically, I kind of separated it out, and I know you guys, I told you that I took off the factory Brown and Sharp cabinet for the electrical, and you can see where that would have been on that flange in the back. But I wanted to get this guy tight up against the wall as I could, and I just sort of thought because the oil pump, let me focus on that, motor is 120 volts AC, that I could just run that off regular, you know, plug in 120 volt AC plug in, and then the motor being 3-phase, I decided to either I was going to run it with this guy, which is, you know, this is on a pole also. It's got like a chair base, wheels, and you can plug in stuff to it. But I kind of made a dedicated situation with my my panel, my shelf rather, for the digital readout. So yeah, super happy about this, you guys. It took me a while messing around, making sure everything was the way I wanted to do it, running the wires, and I made these L brackets out of 3/4 inch angle iron and tigged them, and I found the pieces of wood in the trash at this antique shop. This woman has an antique shop. I go visit her, and you know, she's always giving me stuff, and you know, so these were some piece of a desk or something, 3/4 plywood that I kind of recycled, upcycled. So yeah, I got, you know, you see my videos on the dust tray. I don't have that on yet, but I'm putting like 3 coats of paint on it, so I'm getting it all spiffied up. And then that's going to be pretty much it for the grinder. There's the readout that I repaired last time. I showed you guys the encoder head there that I rebuilt. So very excited to get this thing. And this is 120 volts for control for the oil pump and the switched outlet. And then of course the sight glass will start dripping. So just wanted to make this quick update video. A couple minor things. Got the wheel off and I got the dust guard off. I'm looking to get an elbow so I can get a shop vac on the dust guard. I'll kind of cut over here. It's on the floor. Yeah, all right. So that's the dust guard, and you're like, "What's that blue thing?" Well, the connection for the shop vac is 2 3/4, and I'm like trying to make an adapter with an elbow so I can get my shop vac hooked up. This thing is a propane torch cylinder that I had. I cut off the cylinder and I was using it for, I don't know, I was putting evapor rust in it and derusting something just as a container. But I said, you know what, a torch cylinder is about the right size. So 2 3/4 fits on there. So I don't know. I had an elbow, PVC elbow. That's a 3.5 elbow sweep. That's only an electrical size, so that kind of fits pretty well. But I don't know what I'm going to do to get the vacuum set up. Maybe regular PVC. It'll fit the outside of a reducer. I don't know. But that's in the works. But for now, I'm just super stoked and happy that I got the Brown and Sharp 13 with the digital readout and the VFD box. So just a quick update. Until next time, this is Doozer's Shop.